Hey everybody, Goosebumps for Dummies here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about The Beast from the East, one of the more popular books from the OG series for its very wacky nature, and as I like to call it, the Dr. Seuss wannabe, or just a Dr. Seuss-like book in general. This book is clearly a parody of Dr. Seuss's, kids' books, The Cat in the Hat and stuff like that. And, yeah, you can just see it on the cover. It looks very strange and even alien-like. And this is not an alien book. And, the reason I'm doing it here in August is because this is actually, the perfect read for late August. So I thought I'd do a read for it now, since it is actually kind of a camp book, but kind of not. So it's gonna kind of transition us into the next school year, where we talk about school books, I guess, kick us off then. So yeah. This is a very interesting book, and I'm very excited to talk about it, so let's dig in. And now for the blurb. Every beast for himself. Ginger Wald and her identical twin brothers, Nat and Pat, are lost in the woods. No problem. After all, Ginger did go to that stupid nature camp. Still, there's something odd about this part of the woods. The grass is yellow, the bushes are purple, and the trees are like skyscrapers. See, I told you, Dr. Seuss. Then Ginger and her brothers meet the beasts. They're big blue furry creatures, and they don't want to play a game. The winners get to live, the losers get eaten. ... We were here for a scare Christmas. Next up, say cheese and die again. Oh, don't read that one. The Beast from the East is actually a guilty pleasure read of mine, and while I don't think it's amazing, incredible, I think it is one of the most fun and entertaining books in all of Goosebumps. So yeah, I highly recommend it straight off the bat. Let's get into why I think it's so good. The main thing that makes this book so good and recommendable in my eyes is just the fact that, like I said, this is one of the funnest books in all of Goosebumps. For its wacky nature, it actually helps it be such an entertaining story. Let alone the story itself is really cool. There's a lot of cool things about it, but starting off just the funness of it, yeah. Well, it can be sort of plotless, which I guess is like the teeniest of issues, because that can be done well if there's a plotless book, like Shock Street. That one doesn't really have a plot, but it's super good even though. This is kind of that, only is more of a plot, and is just really generally fun because of how much crazy stuff is going on, and just the wackiness of it, with the whole Beasts from the East game thing, because it's actually a game. The title was based off a game in the book. And, yeah, it is just a really fun story because of how wacky it is. It's kind of like Earth Geeks. So yeah, the main things I like about it, besides the fact that it's super wacky and fun, is because, well, The Beast from the East, the game, it's actually super cool. In simple terms, without getting into the really weird logistics of it, like, there's some interesting mechanics that get revealed that make no sense, but they're in there. The Beast from the East is basically, if you are tagged, which is the main character, they get tagged as the Beast from the East. Well, they're not a beast, they're just called that. If they do not tag another beast, not the Beast from the East, just one of the beasts, because they're not called the Beasts from the East, they're just called the Beasts. Yeah. If they don't tag them before sundown, or if you remember the lyrics of the Beast from the East song by Redead's fantastic song. But if the sun goes down behind the golden willow, the game is over and you get eaten alive. But if you tag it a beast before that, they get eaten alive, or you survive. And that is really just a fun book. And that is just a really fun mechanic. And it keeps the story going. This constant urge to find a beast and tag them. And it's just super cool. And it's really neat. It's something I haven't seen in Goosebumps in a while. Or rather, just one of the more interesting things in Goosebumps. Because I find a lot of things in Goosebumps interesting. But this is just really interesting. Like, damn, that's very cool for a concept. And yeah, it's executed well, very funly. And that's all the book really needs to be great. The next thing, I think the book has a lot of good scare schemes, to be honest. The introduction of the beasts is like, kind of a primal fear that it can invoke is, well, predators. And especially the unknown, because you have no fucking clue what these things are. And you still don't really know by the end of the book. There's little to no lore given about them. They're just things that exist in this unexplored part of nature, that you are now exploring. For all we know. Maybe it's some scientist testing ground, we have no fucking clue. Make your own fanfictions. Please don't. Yeah, the first interaction with the beast is pretty scary just because of primal fears. Like, hey, it's a predator, definitely. And they're big, hulking, like, ape-like creatures, as you can see in the cover. It's extremely accurate, might I say. Plus, there's just the general way they are. They're really creepy creatures. The fact that they speak English is kind of uncanny. The place is uncanny. It kind of has that liminal vibe. There's just a lot of creepy things about this book, as well as, you know, just genuine scare scenes, like the bug scene. That was pretty gross. Yeah, I really like this book because of how really just fun it is, really. That it all adds into the funness of it. It's such a wacky adventure with a lot of cool mechanics and just ideas thrown in there. And yeah, it just keeps the story alive and moving, and it's just one of the most fun and most greatest guilty pleasures in all of Goosebumps. I love this book for that, but it's not perfect. Let's get to my downsides. The start of the book just feels rather wonky, honestly, and whilst I appreciate how quickly it jumps into things, which is something you never see, it jumps into shit like within the first 20 pages, it just feels strange. I mean, shitty parent characters, obviously, to let their kids go exploring in nature, and they don't really bother to do much about it, and they get extremely lost in the sea, so this shouldn't happen under parental supervision, but they get lost pretty fucking easily. Yeah, bad parents, really just off-opening just because how fast it is, and most I can appreciate, like I said, it's just very strange, such a fast opening. I do like the first chapter, though, it's kind of cool. Seeing their connection to nature, they even make a reference to, "Don't go into the woods today," you know, that song is really fucking good. Teddy Bear Picnic, I think it's called. I like it, but it just kind of bothers me in a way. And the other thing is the final page. Now, I can appreciate it because, you know, the whole book is supposed to be wacky and crazy and just fun, which is the whole goal of the book, and I think it succeeds at that perfectly. It's just like, the ending is just one of those endings where it's like, yeah, but, like, I don't really enjoy it. Could have been a better, like, just ending to the book. Basically, I mean, this is a fucking spoiler review. After the beast let them go because I think they won or something, or, no, they're level 3 because they mistakenly involve a mechanic that a level 3 player would know, I believe. I read this in December, if I'm a little wrong, but, yeah. They run into another beast from a different, like, beast tribe, which is really weird, and, the whole thing starts over again, basically, which is like, okay, really? Don't hate it. I don't hate anything about this book. First book, I don't think I have anything I genuinely don't really like at all. Yeah, it's just like, it doesn't get there. And yeah, of course, it's just not the greatest book of all time. It can't be like 10 out of 10, it's so fun. It doesn't have the many things that a good Goosebumps book should really have, and that is characters. Characters just aren't very good in general. Besides the beasts, because there's kind of characters. I think there's one that has, like, a missing eye, which is pretty cool. But yeah, moving on. Book ain't perfect, but it's really darn good, so let's get to my score. I give this book a 9 out of 10. What do I tell ya? This book is a really darn good read. If you're looking for something kind of like Earth Geeks, where it's really wacky and out there for Goosebumps, and just has a lot of interesting things about it. It's not even an alien book, and I still look at it kind of in that way just because of how alien it feels. I mean, everything in this book is alien, technically. Though it's not, you know, outer space, it is alien to what you know. Yeah. Very good book, super fun, Dr. Seuss-esque read, which is the whole point, and I highly recommend it for that, if you're into that, even if there's just, you know, it's not a very proper, you know, book. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this book review. Tell me what you think of Beast and East below. I actually really like to hear, so please. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.